The woman pounded on the door, desperately calling for help, but her friend inside ignored her completely, not even turning around, continuing with what she was doing. Seeing this, the woman turned and tried to run, but suddenly, a crossbow bolt flew in from a distance and struck her. At that moment, a masked figure appeared out of nowhere, rushed forward, and stabbed the woman several times in a frenzy. What made it even stranger was that the attacker outside had made so much noise. Yet inside the house, Maddie seemed to hear nothing at all, calmly going about her chores. This eerie contrast instantly caught the masked man's attention. He stood there, watching Maddie with growing curiosity. The next second, he reached out and knocked hard on the glass door. He assumed this would finally get her attention, but no matter how long he knocked, Maddie didn't react at all. Now the man was confused. He even started to suspect she was pretending, so he quietly moved to the front door, pried it open with a knife, and slipped inside. First, he took Maddie's phone from the table. Then he crept up behind her, trying to figure out what was going on with this woman. Just then, a chat window suddenly popped up on her computer. The man immediately stepped aside to hide. Watching Maddie communicate with another woman using sign language, everything finally clicked. Maddie wasn't pretending. She was deaf and unable to hear. Realizing this, the masked man became even more intrigued. He decided to toy with her for a while and only kill her after he got bored. So he hid in the shadows and secretly took a few photos. After Maddie finished chatting with her friend, he sent those photos one by one to her computer. The moment Maddie saw them, a chill ran down her spine. She stood up and cautiously walked to the front door, where she quickly saw something that terrified her. Seeing her own phone in the man's hand, Maddie rushed forward and locked the door tight, but the man outside didn't seem concerned at all. Instead, he calmly walked around to the back of the house. He just stood there, staring at Maddie without moving. Even though she didn't know who he was, Maddie could clearly feel the danger closing in. Thinking fast, she rushed to her computer and tried to make an emergency video call. But just as the call was about to connect, the lights in the house suddenly went out. Moments later, the computer lost its internet connection. It was obvious the man had cut the main power. Watching him stab and slash her car tires, Maddie's heart sank. For a moment, she had no idea what to do, and regret began creeping in. She thought about how she shouldn't have come out to this remote, isolated place just to find inspiration for her novel, but regret wouldn't change anything. Now she had to find a way to survive. She quickly pulled a lipstick out of her bag. Then she quietly went to the glass door and hurriedly wrote a message on it. After that, she shined a flashlight on the words, hoping the man might show mercy and let her go. The message said that she had never seen his face clearly, and that she was deaf and wouldn't call the police, begging him to spare her. But what Maddie never expected was that after reading it, the man didn't leave. Instead, he calmly removed his mask and revealed his face.
Can you read my lips? You've seen it now, haven't you? I can come in anytime I want.
His name was John, a full-blown psychopathic killer. After checking Maddie's phone, he had already learned she lived here alone. That was why he hadn't rushed in. He wanted to slowly torment her, to break her mentally before killing her. Once Maddie realized his twisted plan, she knew begging was useless. She quickly grabbed whatever weapons she could find from the cabinet, hoping to defend herself if he broke in. But John's hunting game had only just begun. Instead of entering the house, he dragged her friend's corpse around outside. He was trying to completely shatter Maddie psychologically, and it worked. The horrifying sight nearly broke her, and she suddenly rushed out of the house in panic. But John had anticipated this. In the next second, he raised his crossbow and forced her back step by step. When she saw that he didn't follow her inside, Maddie managed to calm down a little. She glanced at her bag and suddenly came up with another idea. She pulled out her car key, went to the door, and triggered the car alarm. When John moved toward the front to check it, she quickly ran to the bedroom window and desperately searched her friend's body. But before she could find the phone she needed, John had already dealt with the car and returned. As he began opening the window, Maddie had no choice. She grabbed a hammer from the ground and swung it hard at him. Seeing that the distraction tactic actually worked, Maddie decided to try it on John again. She quickly ran to the second-floor window, carefully climbed out, and stepped onto the roof. After checking the direction, she used all her strength to throw the flashlight into the nearby woods. When she saw John chasing the light, Maddie immediately climbed down from the other side of the house. But at that moment, an arrow suddenly shot into her thigh. It was John. This time, he had learned his lesson and turned her trick against her. Seeing him reload for another shot, Maddie endured the intense pain and scrambled back up, but John clearly didn't want to miss this chance. He rushed after her without hesitation. What he didn't expect was that Maddie had already pulled the arrow out despite the pain, and she had quietly set up an ambush on the roof. Sure enough, John didn't see it coming. Before he could react, Maddie shoved him off. Although she managed to take his crossbow, she had no idea how to use it. With no other choice, Maddie retreated back inside, planning to find another opportunity. Meanwhile, without his weapon, John suddenly seemed a bit shaken. He rummaged through his car trunk and pulled out a wrench, planning to rest briefly before going in to finish her. But just as he lowered his head to prepare, a bolt suddenly struck his shoulder from a distance. Maddie had launched a surprise attack. Seeing John charge at her recklessly, Maddie panicked and tried to retreat inside. But in the chaos, she accidentally dropped her only bolt outside. As she reached out to grab it, John slammed the door shut, trapping her hand. The pain was unbearable, but John showed no mercy. In the next second, he raised his foot and stomped down hard on her hand. Maddie tried to scream, but no sound came out. She could only slam against the glass in silent agony. When she saw John turn to retrieve his weapon, she realized he had completely lost patience. Even though she was badly injured, she refused to give up. She grabbed a knife and rushed into the bathroom, ready to make her final stand. But unexpectedly, John didn't dare confront her head-on. Instead, he quietly crawled in through the bathroom vent. He planned to exploit her disability and kill her from behind. Just as he raised his weapon, a faint current of air brushed against Maddie's hair. That tiny detail was enough to alert her. She spun around and stabbed him straight in a vital spot. Having barely escaped death, Maddie quickly pushed open the bathroom door and ran out. But her injuries were too severe. Before she could make it out of the room, her legs gave out and she collapsed. Soon, John staggered after her, enduring the pain. Seeing her barely conscious on the floor, he stepped forward, ready to finish it. But Maddie had secretly hidden a bottle of disinfectant behind her back. She suddenly sprayed it straight into his eyes. Then, before his vision could recover, she triggered the smoke alarm in the kitchen. With the blinding flashes and piercing noise, John became disoriented. Even so, Maddie was still no match for him. He quickly overpowered her and pinned her to the ground, choking her. As the suffocating pressure closed in, flashes of memories filled her mind. In that moment, she seemed to hear a gentle voice calling out to her. Following that voice, she reached out blindly and unexpectedly grabbed a wine opener. Almost as if her body moved on its own, she raised it and drove it straight into John's neck. In the end, Maddie defeated the psychopathic killer through sheer will and courage. At that moment, the roles of hunter and prey were completely reversed, and the film leaves us with a simple truth. No matter how strong someone seems, never bully the weak, because you never know what kind of terrifying strength a person can unleash when pushed to the edge.